You're listening to Hawk Talk with former Seahawks wide receiver Michael Bumpus. Powered by Seahawks.com. Now, here's your host, Nasser Kyobe.
Welcome into another edition of Hawk Talk. The Seahawks getting ready to travel to the Music City, Nashville, take on the Tennessee Titans for a big matchup here in Week 12. But I'd be remiss if we didn't talk about what happened against the Rams. Unfortunately, me and Bump were not able to join you on Monday, but we're back. So we are going to touch on the game. Man, Bump, that was tough.
Yeah, it was tough, man. You had a chance to win the game, even though all the drama, the interceptions or whatnot, you still had a chance to win the game. But obviously the Rams, they beat us 21-19, 61-yard field goal to try to take this lead. Just didn't have enough, but it's all good. They battle. Yeah, no, it's one of those games where it was a premier matchup in the NFL. You didn't leave that game going, man, we just can't compete. That was a measuring stick game. We fell short. I'll tell you what, Matthew Stafford probably had the worst game he had the worst game he's had this season and does not play well against Seahawks. So big ups to what they were doing defensively, Bump. But overall, big picture, what did you learn from the Seahawks and the Rams game? Learn that this defense is resilient, and they are good enough to help your quarterback out when he has the worst day that he's had all year. Learn that Kyobe Bryant's a dog getting downhill. We're going to talk about his big play, and that this team is still together. I think that was important for us to feel and to hear that even though you felt like you should have won this game or could have won this game, and you did it in a way that's not typical for this football team with all the turnovers. They do turn the football over, but not in bunches like this. You still had a chance to win it. So, character, I liked it. No, it's a great segue because I learned that this team is together. And go no further than one of the defensive leaders on this team, Ernest Jones. This is him talking about his quarterback post-game.
I mean, Sam's been balling. Like, if we want to try to define Sam by this game or what, man, Sam's had us in every game. So for him to sit there and say, oh, that's my fault. No, it's not. There was plays that defensively we could have made plays. There were opportunities where we could have got better stops. Yeah, I mean, like, it's football, man. And he's our quarterback. We got his back. And you got anything to say, quite frankly, f*** you.
Well, I think it's pretty clear. And what I love about it is you just have your teammates back, man. He didn't have a great game. That's obvious. He has been at MVP level this year. And what I love about it is he's a veteran guy letting everybody know, setting the tone. This is what we do here. And I think, if you would have put Jay Reed, if you would have put Leo, you put anyone else up there, JSN, they would have had a similar reaction. Maybe not 2 F-bombs, but hey, he got his point across. And what I love, too, is a lot of the national networks were talking about Ernest Jones and not talking about the game for a certain point. So just tremendous leadership there. I love it. We're seeing from this team, they're close, and you can see it in the locker room. You can see how they interact with each other. I love everybody having each other's back. And the cool thing is, unlike a couple post-game comments that were coming out of Tennessee after their last loss, this team is together, putting up for one another. So I love what we're seeing there. But quickly, let's get over to the people who made plays, Playmakers.
Touchdown, Seahawks! Playmakers.
Showdown, what time it is? Holy catfish!
Where do you start, Bump? Number 11.
You got to start with JSN. Once again, over 100 yards, 9 receptions, 105 on 12 targets. He became the first player in the Super Bowl era with at least 75 yards in each of the first 10 games of the season. He also passed Steve Largent for the most 100-yard receiving games in a single season in franchise history. With 7, he now has 1,146 of them things on the season, which leads the league. And it wasn't a quiet 105, but it wasn't a loud 105. It's just he's consistent. He gets open. He catches the rock, hands, whatever you need. Jason gets it done.
I mean, it's consistency, like you said. He's at the point where 105 yards can be quiet. That's how good he has been this year. That one-arm play along the sideline, I've seen him do that a million times in practice. That is not something that randomly happened. He practices that kind of thing. He's that type of playmaker. Love what we're seeing from him, JSN. Then Ken Walker. This made me smile, too. 16 carries, 67 yards, 1 touchdown. Should have had 2.
Yep.
Average 4.2 yards per carry. Also had about 44 yards receiving. And K9 has shown, Mike McDonald said it this week, he has earned more carries because of what he's done on the field. When he's out there, I think he gives the Seahawks best chance in the run game. We know Zach Charbonnet, what he can do in pass pro, and he's obviously a really good back as well. George Trelawney's done some good things, but I love to see Ken Walker getting active, being in the game on the goal line, and being able to pay it off with a touchdown.
Starting to get his groove. I see you, K9. Also, A.J. Barner, 10 receptions for 70 yards, a career high in receptions, second most receiving yards in a game in his career. Now, he's had multiple touchdown games, but he's never had 10 catches. And A.J. Barner, slowly, not even slowly, just steadily establishing himself as TE number 1. You sprinkle in some Arroyo, man. I like where this tight end group is headed.
Yeah, no, AJ's a dog. Barnyard, keep it going. Get back on track there. Then Kyobe Bryant, man, 5 tackles, a forced fumble, 4 passes defended, 1 QB hit. I'll say this about Kyobe Bryant on that play, that forced fumble he had. That's not a mistake. That's not an accident.
No.
If you talk to any defender, you have to practice this every single day. That's what you do. You don't all of a sudden on game day try to do the Peanut Tillman punch. You're not ripping the ball out. You're not trying to do all those things. That is who you are. And Kyobe Bryant's a ball hawk. Love to see it. He's been one of the mainstays of the secondary all season long.
Practice makes perfect. You do it in practice, it becomes automatic in the game. And Ernest Jones, a playmaker, 6 tackles. He led the squad, and he also had one of the best post-game speeches that have ever gone down in Seahawk history. Appreciate your leadership, Ernest, and appreciate your play. He's a big dog.
And last thing we'll say about the Rams, man, is I mentioned this Seahawks defense as a whole. Matthew Stafford held to a season low 130 yards, season low 53% completion percentage, held the Rams to 211 on third downs, held the Rams to 249 yards. And after giving up 2 early touchdowns, the Seahawks forced a punt or a turnover on 7 of the Rams' final 8 possessions, held the Rams to 21 points, really only accountable for 10. Anytime you do that to Sean McVay, Matthew Stafford in that offense, you're doing something right. Cannot wait for the rematch in Week 16 in Seattle on Thursday Night Football. We'll flip it over to the current matchup, Tennessee Titans. There obviously was a big injury in the game. Gray Zabel went down. Everyone in Seattle was concerned. Yep. I was very concerned watching him not be able to put weight down. But Coach McDonald said, really fortunate Monday afternoon. We avoided serious injury, really positive. He's day-to-day. So he did not practice on Wednesday. But we avoided serious injury, and it seems like he will be ready to go at some point this year. Christian Haynes did a good job stepping up for him, so he might get the start on Sunday.
Not only did Haynes step in, he stepped in on the 1-yard line. Game-winning drive. Any mistake back there would have been
game over.
Yeah,
it's a safety.
And he did his thing, so big ups Christian Haynes.
Absolutely, man. Shout out Christian Haynes. We'll be watching the injury updates as we head into Sunday, but let's get into those Titans. What's on tap?
What's on tap?
These Titans bump, it's been a struggle.
Yeah, it has.
1-9, last place in their division. Little losses to the Broncos, Rams, Colts, Texans, Raiders, Patriots, Colts, Chargers, Texans. Their lone win bump against the Arizona Cardinals, and they were absolutely gift-wrapped given that game by just unbelievable mistakes. That's when DeMarcado dropped the ball at the 1-yard line. That's when Cam Ward got picked off, but on the interception return, they fumbled. Tyler Lockett gets in the end zone. Anyway, it's been rough. They fired their head coach, Brian Callahan, after a 1-5 start, 4-19 record. Offensive coordinator, Mike McCoy, he takes over as the interim coach. It's been a rough time, Bump. What did you see for them against the Texans last week?
Oh, man, against the Texans, it was rough, man. The Texans came out this game without C.J. Stroud for the second straight week in a row. That nasty concussion he had sliding down. Man, I don't know how I feel about the slide and the hit. It's hard for a defender out there. But
it's almost more dangerous sometimes, though, if you get caught in a slide than if he would have been in a position to protect himself. But anyway.
It's tough. Maybe they should start having QBs just raise their hand.
You say, I'm done.
Give myself up, and then we'll mark it right there. But Davis Mills got the start for the second week in a row. This game got off to a super slow start. Titans leading 3-0 at halftime. We love those type of games. The Titans added a field goal on the first possession, but the Texans answers with their first touchdown of the game, going 7 plays, 75 yards, ending with a Nico Collins touchdown. Sounds like Nico was banged up, but he'll be back. But we don't care about it as Texans. That made the score 7-6. The Texans would add 2 field goals to make the score 13-6 early in the fourth quarter. Then, after 4 straight punts, Titans made the game interesting. Cam Ward led the Titans on their best drive of the game, 11 plays, 95 yards.
Maybe of the season.
Not
maybe. I said maybe.
For sure, of the season. Ended with a 4-yard touchdown to Van Jefferson, former Ram, right? That tied the game at 13 with 1:35 left in the football game.
Yeah, and then in typical Titans fashion, if you're a Titan fan, I guess the only person I know is Mike Lefko. If you're out there, if you're listening to this,
big ups, Lefko.
Prayers up. Yeah, they give up the game-winning field goal at the end of the game. They lose that football game. Davis Mills, not C.J. Stroud, but he put up 274 yards passing, no touchdowns. Titans, man, they played 9 rookies last week, and they started 4 of them.
That's wild.
That's all we kind of need to talk about there. We're going to get into some of their players because it is the National Football League. I'm not going to try to disrespect Titans. They obviously have some good players over there, but
for sure,
it's not looking good. As we jump in his head-to-head bump, we can kind of fly through it, especially the offensive numbers, because the Titans, they are 32nd last total offense, last in rush offense, last in points per game, 30th in pass offense. Not very good. Seahawks, they're 6th in total offense, 360 yards a game, 14th on the run, 4th in the past, 249 yards per game, and then third in points per game at 29.4. Obviously, handily big advantage for the Seattle Seahawks as the Titans have just really struggled to score.
On defense, the Titans are 24th overall, 26th when it comes to stopping the run, 18th against the pass, 30th when it comes to points allowed per game, 27.3. On the other side, your Hawks 9th overall, 6th against the run, 14th against the pass, and 6th when it comes to giving up points, 19.3 per game. It's big numbers to the right, Titans, little numbers to the left, Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you are what your record is.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I will say about them is they've managed to be in most games. As bad as they've been in the stat line,
right,
they've competed in a lot of games, so it'll be interesting to see that. Seahawks and Titans do not play very often, but let's know the history.
Know your history.
Seahawks lead the all-time series 11-8, 11-7 in the regular season. That includes the Houston Oilers before they moved over. Since that team has been in Tennessee, the Hawks lead the series 5-3.
Houston Oilers, my first throwback jersey. Warren Moon,
I was going to say.
Oilers, yeah.
Yep. Playing in the Astrodome down in Houston. Okay. Yeah, so the last matchup between these two was on Christmas Eve, actually, 2023 season. The Seahawks go down there. Geno Smith had a game-winning drive to Kyobe Parkinson. Obviously, both of them are not here anymore. Seahawks win that ball game, and it was a big game. They needed to win it to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they came home and had that Steelers game that I don't even really want to talk about. Knocked them out of the playoffs there. But in the game, Bobby Wagner had a nice day, 11 tackles. Tyler Lockett had a good game. That was only 2 years ago, but you started saying all those names. None of them are here anymore.
Feels
very
like
different
forever,
team.
man.
So very, very different time in Seahawks history. Obviously, the Seahawks are off to a great start this season. That brings us to What's the Word?
Where my soldiers at? West side! Where my soldiers at? West side!
And the Seahawks are the NFC West champs again.
What's the word in the West on Hawk Talk?
All right, Rams, you got it for now. 8-2 sitting on top of the division. Hawks behind them at 7-3. You got Frisco 7-4 and Arizona at the bottom at 3-7 after a win over the Seahawks and Rams, moving to sole possession of first place in the NFC West. Hard saying that, but you know what? Don't worry about it. We got you. The Seahawks will get their rematch against the Rams from Thursday Night Football on December 18th. That game will likely have huge playoff implications and will be key for the Seahawks to have any chance at winning the division. We're looking towards the 18th. But we got to take care of the Titans. But, just got to lay out the situation. We can do that. We can look forward in scenarios and all that stuff. These guys stay locked in.
No question about it. The Seahawks got the Titans. They got the Vikings. They have the Falcons. And they have who am I missing?
I don't know. I go one week at a time.
That's how I do. Yeah. But, no, anyway, I'm just projecting their schedule because they can win each one of those games.
Yeah.
And I feel very confident about that.
Someone asked me yesterday. Someone asked me yesterday, where do you see a Seahawk loss? And I looked at the schedule and I go, I could see them winning all of these games. That's even after this loss to the Rams.
That's not even a hot take anymore.
It's not.
I don't see them losing another game. Early this season, I said the Seahawks, after they lost to the Niners, I didn't think they were going to lose another game at home.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded crazy because of how bad their home record was. They lose a crazy game to the Buccaneers, missing a lot of guys. But you started to see them improve at home, win 3 in a row. It's not crazy how good this team is. So I'm excited to see what it could be. Elsewhere in the division, though, 49ers, Cardinals, it ended up the way you thought it would.
Mm-hmm.
Cardinals, they get behind big. Niners come back. They beat them 41-22. Brock Purdy made his return. Had a pretty good game. He was, 19 of 26, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. Christian McCaffrey, 121 total yards, 3 tutties. George Kittle, 67 yards on 6 receptions, 2 touchdowns. On the Cardinals side, Jacoby Brissett had a career high, 452 yards passing, 47 for 57.
That's wild.
He threw 2 touchdowns, had 2 interceptions. Cardinals are in a bad way. They're sinking fast. Who knows what's going to happen there? But the Niners, again, hanging around. Just kind of there.
This won't go away.
You're going to have to take care of business against them in week 18 to end the season. Hopefully that'll be to clinch something special. But we'll see what happens there. Anyway, 49ers will host the Panthers on Monday Night Football. Cardinals will welcome in the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday afternoon. But let's flip our attention back to these Tennessee Titans. Man up.
Hey, who you got?
Who you got? You know what time it is. Man up.
Man up, brother.
Man up.
Man up on Hawk Talk.
All right, let's do it. Let's talk about Cam Ward. Go Cougs. Cam Ward and the Titans, they're obviously in a tough spot. They're 1-9. It's hard out there for Pimp. And I feel bad for this dude, but not this week, man. Ward actually played ball in Texas. He attended the University of Incarnate Ward. He was FCS All-American and the Southland Conference Player of the Year. He said, I'm moving on up. So what did he do? He transferred to WSU. He started 25 games, throwing 6,963 yards and 48 touchdowns. I called like 3 of his games. It was fun watching him do his thing. He also had 13 rushing touchdowns. From there, he took his talents to South Beach. He went to Miami, where he had an unbelievable season. 2024, he was a Heisman Trophy candidate. Final Heisman Trophy finalist, and he was also the Davey O'Brien Award winner, NCAA All-American First Team, ACC Player of the Year, ACC Offensive Player of the Year, and First Team All-ACC. All this led him to being drafted by the Tennessee Titans #1 overall. It's crazy to see where he came from. Right, he Incarnate Ward. He went to a school where they hardly threw the football in high school. Goes to Incarnate Ward, WSU,
FCS. Yeah.
It just the journey's been crazy, and so it makes me proud because I got to follow his journey. Obviously, me being a Cougar, whatnot, and doing some research. But he's in a tough spot over there with the Titans right now. But he's a good ball player.
Yeah, it's crazy down in Tennessee. If you listen to anything come out of there, they're ready to give up on him.
Yeah.
Which I think is unbelievably premature for a guy that is in the situation and quite frankly does not have the weapons.
Ain't got no help.
That to be successful as a rookie quarterback in the NFL. So, yeah, I think they got to give him some grace. I heard people talking about that. Draymond Jones, a former Seahawk, who was down there, they traded him, I believe, and on his way out, he was like, yo, I give the brother some time.
Yeah, and because they're probably going to have the #1 pick. And with that #1 pick, you start getting quarterback fever. You want to go get you one. I say get this man. With that #1 pick, go get him a great offensive lineman, defensive lineman. Give him something that can help him 100%. Have some success.
100%. And Bump, just to get some numbers out of how bad they are. They're last in the NFL in total yards, 242. Their struggles, like we said, are not all on him. But you look at his numbers, last week coming off one of his better games, 24-37, 194, 1 touchdown against the Houston. On the season, 194 for 332, 58 completion percentage, 1,954 yards, 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
Yeah, it's hard out there. It's hard. You ain't got no help. I'm watching the film now. The pocket's collapsing. Receivers aren't getting open. Pollard is a good running back, too. I think we'll talk about him. Pollard's a good running back, but where the lanes at? Y'all just keep up the good work this week.
Well, I hope it continues to be hard for him this week. Yeah. Right after that bump, and we'll see what happens. That leads us to our quarterback, Sam Darnold. He's coming off the toughest performance he's had as a Seahawk. Ooh. That's obvious. He did have the 4 interceptions, 29-44, 279, 0 touchdowns. But, again, for me, one game doesn't erase everything that we've seen. Same way the 2 games at the end in Minnesota did not erase the 14 games before that. You can't look at everything through a microscope in that sense. Yeah, is it a game he wish he could have some throws back? 1,000%. But, he, again, has been so good this year. I have no doubt that he's going to get bounced back against this Tennessee defense, who's 24th in the NFL. He's still among the league's best, 7th in the NFL in passing yards, 1st in yards per pass attempt, 1st in yards per completion, 7th in passer rating, 4th in QBR, 2nd in completion percentage. That's after a bad game. He's still balling. He's still that dude. And the Seahawks are still protecting him. Offensive line, shout out. He's only been sacked 10 times this year. I don't expect that number to go up a ton this year as long as they block Jeffrey Simmons, who we'll get to in a little bit.
What I like about Darnold playing this week is that with the Vikings, he had 2 bad games and couldn't rectify it. The season's over.
Right.
Now he's got a game. All right, let me shake this off and get going against the Tennessee Titans. Let's talk about their running back, Tony Pollard. Good running back. He's in his 2nd season with the Titans, 7th in NFL. Man, he's been in the league 7 years already. Spent 5 years with the Dallas Cowboys from 22 to 24. Pollard had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. So far this year, he's a little bit behind pace. He's got 502 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 3.9 per clip. He's a talented back, and he can hurt you. You see, if you are a student of the game, you understand how backs move, you see the potential in him. He could break off a big one. They have the worst rushing attack in the league, the Titans, 78 yards per game. The Seahawks have been great against the run. They're 6th, allowing 93 yards per game. And the Seahawks have gone 19 consecutive games without allowing a 100-yard rusher. That's tied for the longest streak in the NFL.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that streak doesn't end
Keep it rolling.
Week. Holy smokes. They're good players. And Bump, I'll take everyone behind the curtain a little bit. I arranged this so I would have to say these names.
Perfect. I appreciate it. Why? You don't think I can do it? You don't think I can do it?
I don't have a ton of faith. We haven't practiced a lot. I think you're going to get it right by Sunday. I know that, but I wasn't sure. We didn't really talk about it before.
Okay.
Anyway.
I did jack up one of these names on air today. So
we're going to talk about the Titans receiving core. It's been tough. It's been tough. They're playing some rookies. Started off, okay, Calvin Ridley, that's the name you know. He's been a 1,000-yard receiver in this league. He's been banged up, comes back last week. First play, boom, fibula, done. Done for the year. After just making a 13-yard catch. So that's been tough. On the season, he had 17 receptions for just 303 yards. So it was not lighting the world on fire. Then we enter in Chig Okonkwo. He is the tight end, but I grouped him in here as a pass catcher. He's the team's leading receiver, 32 receptions, 337 yards, 0 touchdowns. For context, everybody out there, Jackson Smith-Njigba has 1,100 yards receiving. Now, I know that's the very top, but now we're looking at the very bottom just for context for everyone out there. Next leading receiver, you got the rookie receiver, Elik Iominor. Man, I still mess it up.
Iominor.
Yeah, it's Iominor.
I only know because I cover the Pac-12.
Right,
He went to Stanford. So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Iominor, and he's a good player. Again, but he's a rookie, 28 receptions, 334 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's dealing with a hamstring injury, so we're going to see if he's going to play. And then you have another rookie.
That's the one I jacked up.
Okay. Chimere DK.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been evaluated for concussion during the game. He came back. However, he left the game at the end with a chest contusion, so we're unsure if he's going to play. Now, that brings us to Van Jefferson. He played for the Rams. That's the name you guys know. And then Mason Kinsley. Shout out Mason Kinsley. He's my fellow D3 brethren out there trying to make moves in the NFL game. So I say all that to say they got some players out there, but their receiving core is dinged up. This is not going to be Puka Nacua. This is not Devontae Adams. Advantage Seahawks. Seahawks are 14 against the pass, but I would love to see what Tariq Woolen, Josh Jobe, Devin Witherspoon. I want to challenge them. I want to see them take the ball away this week.
Yeah, man. Be aggressive. Be aggressive.
Oh, come on.
All right, old school from my 80s and early 90s babies out there.
All
right, JSN. Let's talk about our receivers. JSN, Cooper Kupp, Rashid Shaheed against the Titans. We talked about JSN to open up this show. 105, 12 targets, broke some records, broke Steve Largen's record for most 100-yard receiving games in a season. He's at 1,146 when it comes to yards. The next closest receiver is Jamar Chase at 285, and he ain't going to play this week.
Yeah, he
ain't gonna play this week.
Don't do that, everyone out there.
Bad decisions.
Don't
be spitting at him, man.
Come on.
I liked Tomlin's response too. It said,
Yeah.
"What's your message to Jalen Ramsey?" He goes, "There's no message. You react the way you want to if a man spits in your face.
React accordingly."
Exactly.
Like
I love me some Tomlin, man. But JSN, he leads NFL in yards per game, 114.6. He leads NFL in yards per touch, 15.3. He's tied for 4th in yards per reception, 15.9. But best receiver in the game right now.
It's not close. And I love to see it each and every week. We're really spoiled in this market. Can't wait. 158 yards. Does he break the record this week, Mom?
158.
That's tight. I don't know. This game could get out of hand.
Yeah.
Obviously, Coach McDonald, all the players, we know you guys are taking this seriously. Me and Bump can have these conversations.
We can do
you
this.
guys are focused.
We can do this.
I don't know. Maybe.
He doesn't.
He's going to have to get at least 120 in the first half, though, just because I don't know if he's going to play anything.
I know. That's a good call.
Anyway, we'll see. All
right. We got Cooper Kupp, 29 receptions for 390 and 1 touchdown. He's on pace to do what I thought he was going to do, honestly.
You said around 700, right?
Yep, 6'7". We good. Rashid Shaheed.
You're on a roll right now.
Rashid Shaheed. We got to get this guy going. He has 6 touches in the last 2 games, and I understand what they're doing, right? They're trying to slowly get him acclimated. He's on the field for 34% of the offensive snaps last week, 21 plays, 7 snaps on specials. We got to get him going. 2 carries, 20 yards against the Cardinals. He had a kickoff return. I think week by week we'll see a bit more from him. So I'm hoping this week. He almost had a touchdown last week. Should have had a touchdown last week. He makes a great play in the end zone.
You're right. A little
so he's getting there because that was his first real red zone target too. So we see them looking for him a bit more.
And he's getting sprinkled in. I would imagine taking in Clint Kubiak's offense, even though he was in it in New Orleans. Yeah. Terminology's all different. You're figuring out they're putting in a bunch of different stuff. So I'm assuming he's going to continue to get more reps and more acclimated to this offense. Now, the Titans, for as much as we talked about what they don't have, here are some dudes that they do have. And we're looking at Jeffrey Simmons and former Seahawks Cody Barton. Jeffrey Simmons, he's a dog, man. The Titans might be 24th ranked defensively, but it's not because of him.
Yeah, showing.
He is a 3-time Pro Bowler. He is a game record, 7th season in the NFL, 18th overall pick in 2019. Started 90 of 92 games played, 37 career sacks and interior lineman. Last year, he had a career high, 76 tackles, 5 sacks, 9 QB hits, 4 passes defended. Earned him Pro Bowl honors. So far in 8 games this year, he's making his presence felt. 33 tackles, 5.5 sacks, 12 QB hits, 9 TFLs, 1 forced fumble. And I'll say this about him. Mike McDonald spoke this week at his press conference. Seahawks had that joint practice in Tennessee, a year and a half ago at this point. When I was there, you didn't know the delta between these two teams at the time. But Coach McDonald talked about, he's like, man, I wish we could bury some of that film because this guy was making a lot of plays. And just how far the Seahawks have come, even from that joint practice, whole new staff, all the newness that was coming out of that. So that was cool to see, but he was like, I'm happy that the Titans and us are the only people who have some of that film because I don't like to look back at it because Simmons is a dog. I will say this, though. He is holding his teammates accountable down there. This is him post-game. He said, I'm tired of sugarcoating it. We need to be better, especially at home. Can't have that many bleeping false starts. There's no way we should have that many false starts at home. I don't care. I'm tired of saving feelings. I'm tired of losing. Talking about his tackles.
Straight up.
3 false starts on offense. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see if his teammates respond, but we know he's a guy who can get it done.
Yeah, he's a baller, man. And he's a leader. For him to come out and say that and hold guys accountable, yeah, I accept that. You also got Cody Barton, former Seahawk, man. We had a moment with him and his girl in Germany, sitting there eating dinner and having a good time. And Cody's a good dude, man. He was drafted by the Seahawks in 2019 and played 4 seasons in Seattle and becoming a starter his final year in 2022. Man, time flies. Then he played a season with Washington, Denver, and now Tennessee. So far this season, he's having the best year of his career. I was just talking to Dave Wyman about him. Dave was like, oh, man, Cody Barton's balling. I go, of course you think he's balling. But
he actually is.
He actually is balling, man. He leads the Titans with 3 interceptions, including 1 he ran back for a touchdown. He also has 7 passes defended. Both are career highs on the season. He's got 56 tackles, 3 tackles for loss, 1 quarterback hit, 1 sack, 3 interceptions, and 7 passes defended. Nice to see an old friend do his thing.
You know, I love Cody. Cody was great. He was great to me personally. He did everything we ever asked of him.
Yeah, Cody's
and if
awesome.
you know anything about Dave Wyman, he loved him some Cody.
Loves
Barton,
some Cody.
I want to see their embrace in Tennessee. I hope someone can film that. Jen Mueller, Steve Rabel, if any of you guys, Steve, maybe not Steve, Jen, if you can film that, let's see that. Lastly, we'll talk about Cedric Gray. He's tackling machine. 102 tackles already. 3rd in the entire NFL behind who else? Bobby Wagner, Jordan Brooks.
Former
2 other
Seahawks.
people who be getting tackles like
Well,
that.
that defense be out there a lot, so he probably should be 3rd, right?
Yeah. 102
But
tackles.
big up, Cedric.
1 tackles, 1 sack, 6 TFLs, 2 quarterback hits, 1 fumble recovery, and 4 passes defended. We talked about it. We've previewed it. The Seahawks taking on these Titans. We're going to tell you how they get that done. Path to victory.
At the 45, waits for the snap. Michael Dixon puts it down. That kick is away, and that kick is good! The Seahawks win! It's good!
It's a path to victory on Hawk Talk.
Bump, we can say it.
Yeah.
I know Coach McDonald and the rest of his team will have these boys ready to play. I know they got some humble pie this week. They're back at it. I know they did not have a walkthrough on Wednesday, but they put the pads on. So they are treating this game as important as it should. Me and you, on the other hand, we can look at this game as the Seahawks should be dominant.
They should.
This is a much better football team, and you look at it top to bottom, offense, defense, special teams. The Seahawks, I think, should hammer this team. And how are they going to do that, Bump? Taking care of the football. 4 interceptions last week. Obviously, that was the biggest outlier of all outliers. I think they're going to clean that up this week, and they're going to need to do that if they play well against Tennessee.
Yep, and take care of your quarterback. No sacks last week for Sam Darnold, but you're seeing Jeffrey Simmons this week. And Sandell is out. Grayzable potentially out. You got to protect your quarterback. Allow him to get back into his groove. Establish the run early, often, and then go up top to JSN, do your thing. And on defense, get after Cam Ward. He is the most sacked quarterback in the game. He is a rookie. Make him look like that.
Yeah, he's been sacked 41 times. So let's add another 10 or something like that.
Ooh, that'd be
I feel
nice.
good about that. And then stop the run, man. This is the worst rushing attack in the National Football League. That does not mean Pollard cannot hurt you, but as a collective unit, that's what you do best. Let's not have this be the game where they pop out. And then, again, while this is the game they should dominate, it's the NFL.
Yep.
So respect your opponent, which I know is not going to be an issue with the guys in this locker room. Bump. I'm excited to see the Seahawks get back on the field after obviously a sour taste in their mouth after what happened against the Rams. But they have a lot of games they can win. We'll see what happens on Sunday. He's Michael Bumpus of Nasser Kyobe. This has been Hawk Talk. Hopefully we'll be talking to you on Monday about a Seahawks blowout victory in the Music City.